Hello, Sis. Hello, Mirfak. Okay, I am having an audio issue. Let me see if I can sort this out. Okay.
Can you hear me now, Larry?
Yep. but I'm
Great.
having a bit of trouble with my setting here.
Okay.
So let me make sure that I'm doing this right.
Okay.
Oh well, that should be good enough. Okay. Now what am I doing? Okay. I'll get there eventually. Yeah, I logged into the stream this morning and there were 11 people there before me.
You're kidding me. Wow.
Yeah. And there's currently 11 people in the hood.
How do you know how many are in the hood?
Because I just went to the Nexus.
Oh, okay.
Well, lore and trivia, not so much on the rum part. Ibear is asking you a question, or wants to ask some questions, Susan.
Okay. He just arrived.
There's one for you. Have you ever heard the term filk before?
No.
What happened is that it is a term used for fan songs that are usually sung to tunes of well-known songs.
Oh, instead of like, okay.
Yeah, but the thing is that the name filk actually came pretty early on because somebody was writing an article for a magazine and they meant to say folk songs were being used for by fans to sing about things that they were interested in, except that they misspelled it.
Cool.
So they said it wound up being printed in as filk in the article, and the fan community jumped all over that and adopted it as their own.
That's nice.
One of those happy accident things. Okay, let's see. As this is the first time I'm able to join a tour finally, I was wondering, is this a similar tour every time, or is it a new one? And the answer to that is it is a series. Each tour covers a different aspect of the game.
I don't think he's in Twitch yet because he logged in after I told him to access Twitch, so I'm about to do that.
Okay, in that case, I'll repeat that when he gets when he can hear it.
I also sent him a copy of the message that's posted on the Imager.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm about to give him further instructions.
Wow, we are doing very good business this morning. We're already up to 16. Tech has Shora, Larry, and the tour crew.
Oh, he read your website, Larry.
Okay. Yeah, if you can hear me, yes. Then yeah, getting through an entire tour as of last season took us 2 entire years just to get through it once. If you look at the website that I have on YouTube, my YouTube channel, I should say, I have most of last season's tours archived. That was the first time we were doing live streams for them, so the first few tours didn't make it. That includes the ones that we're doing today, and even after we started streaming, they were pretty hashed. I'm still not haven't got the whole process down to a fine art yet. So I make lots of mistakes.
You're doing pretty good. No, these tours are awesome. I don't know why you're so hard on yourself. They're incredible.
Because I know how many mistakes I'm making, and I know I'm very much aware of how much time I spend hunting for things.
Oh.
Hello.
Create an AI
Hi,
for
Zeke.
yourself. Hi, Zeke.
Made it to this one.
Yep.
Yay! Arte's supposed to come too.
Yep. Even though he told us he was going to miss it because of the week he was traveling this weekend, but turned out that those plans got canceled.
Yeah. Well, they switched it to another weekend.
Mm-hmm. I've got another subscription on my YouTube channel now.
We have 3 newcomers here today.
Yep.
That would be Chow and Town, and 4 Dark Phoenix, iBear, and Mike 42. I think Mike 42 is new. He may have come once before.
Dark Phoenix, the name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's new or a returnee.
I actually remember some old past ones. Paige, Murph. So they used. Murph never came on the Cavern tours, but Paige did.
Oh yeah, I remember Paige. Paige goes to Arte's story night.
Okay.
Actually, I believe that she's the one who first pointed out those faces on the wall of the ferry terminal.
Was.
Yeah.
I remember. Because my picture was, the picture you took with me turning for some odd reason.
Shaver1 is asking why I use Twitch rather than the voice in Uru. And there are several answers to that. First off, Twitch has a lot better sound quality. Secondly, when I do it this way, I am not hurting my fingers trying to hold down the tab button for hours on end. And the other thing is that we, all of us on the tour staff, can talk at the same time without having to worry about stepping on each other.
And he needs Twitch to stream content.
Yep.
Extra content.
You'll be seeing a lot of that today.
That, and part of that was due to a rule I had made back in the Cavern tours. I had made the rule that it can't be outside of the game, because I felt people would watch live streams and not be interested in coming to Uru and stuff like that. So that was another reason why we used to use the voice chat, but we're using Twitch now as an alter means. Plus, Twitch is giving us even more info than we had before about all these ages.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's
how
the extra
deep
content.
does this history go? It's like, how deep does this rabbit hole go?
And the answer to that one is very, very, very deep.
I guess that's why they call it the Deep City.
Oh no.
Ouch.
I'm going to be on a roll for puns if they have.
Yeah, puns before the tour starts.
Is that Arte I'm hearing?
That's Arte you're hearing.
Arte!
That's me.
Hey,
give me a
everyone's
second,
here today.
I'll be right back.
Oh, it's a merry bench. I actually logged into Twitch before you did, Larry.
Yeah,
And
a lot of
I
people
logged
did.
into Skype before you did. When you hadn't logged in by 9:30, I was getting really nervous because you're very dedicated and religious about logging in before 9:30.
Actually, I logged in about that time. I think it was something like 11:28 my time is when I started trying to log in.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I stand
That's,
corrected. I apologize deeply.
Now, if I could believe you actually meant a word of that.
Oh yeah, I guess I gotta take some acting lessons.
I was going to say your sincerity is overwhelming there, Susan.
Yes, or maybe underwhelming.
We did something, Arte and I did something different this month. Towards the beginning of the month, I was needing to edit my scripts and was feeling woefully undermotivated to get to it.
Really?
So what I decided to do was to ask Arte if he would meet up with me here on Skype, and we go through the whole thing together. What I had been doing up to this point was I was editing the whole things and then sending it to him for commentary. But the thing is that he'd have to then fit it into his schedule to write hit all of his comments and send it back.
Right.
So by doing it live, we got the whole thing done without having to take either one of us too far out of our way.
Awesome.
It was like a total of 3 hours over 2 days.
Sounds
Oh
like
my
Opposed
goodness.
to a week of back and forth.
Wow, so it was more efficient then.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but I actually, for the second day, I actually managed to talk Richard Watson into joining in.
You're
Which
kidding
is
me. He
pretty
joined
cool.
you in Skype?
Yep.
Yeah, he couldn't
Oh
get his
my
microphone
gosh,
to work,
what a
but
blessing.
he chatted with us.
What a blessing. Wow.
He couldn't remember anything about the stuff we were covering, but on the other hand, I got some very good jokes out of him that I'll be sharing with you as part of the tour.
And it was productive.
I bet.
Welcome back.
So I'm hoping to repeat that at the beginning of next month, getting all three of us together again. Oh, he did say something that was actually unsolicited but irrelevant. And that was, you know how we don't know anything at all about what's behind the giant windows in the of the guild hall, or what the Tokata buildings were for? As it turned out, he said that the mystery on those was deliberate. He said that the reason why they never came up with any sort of a story for them or explanation of what they were supposed to be was that they always wanted to leave their options open. If they did decide to make interiors for them, they could start with a clean slate and not have to try and reconcile with something they had said before.
Wow. All right, it is little past 11. Should I start the introduction?
Let me go ahead and get the music.
Okay. And I also want to... we might have a newcomer. That I might have to give instructions to.
Okay. Anyway, the music's turned off whenever you want to get started.
I just want to make sure that Mark is logged into Twitch.
Mm-hmm. And we are holding at 22 people watching Twitch. The funny thing is, of course, is that Arte, you know how it is that almost everybody usually shows up just before we start?
Yeah.
I logged in at 11:30 my time and opened up I should say when I started the stream at about 11:30 my time, there were already 11 people watching the stream before on the stream channel before me.
Which, so, that's nice because, you get email notifications when you go live. You can sign up for email notifications in Twitch when you start live streaming. Of course, you don't need to actually be logged into Twitch to get those. But yeah, it's great that people are so excited about these tours.
They actually showed up early for once.
Yeah, you still got the stragglers.
Okay.
Well,
anyway,
there's always going to be that.
I'm hoping that Mark is listening and watching, but I did send a message in chat. So anyway, welcome everyone to another Cavern tour. We're so happy to see you. As Larry said, he's so thrilled that some of you are even logging in a half hour early, which is very flattering. So thank you for that. Today we'll be continuing our tour of the island of Ae'gura. This is our third tour of the island. There's so much content down there that it takes 3 different tours to cover the content. Let's all say
half the island.
half the island, okay. The other half's inaccessible.
It's gonna be 5 tours at the most.
Okay, I haven't even checked my own schedule. Anyway, I scheduled the tours, but I can't remember what I scheduled. Hello. So please all say hello to our tour guide, Larry Ledier. How do you pronounce that? Ledier, okay.
That's a family name, and it's Ledier. It means the dice. It actually means the dice. French,
Oh wow. Okay.
which means that I probably had a professional gambler in my family background.
Oh dear.
or poker.
Or poker. And our assistant or co-tour guide today is Arte, right here. Many of you probably know him from his Story Night series, which he's been putting on for what, decades it seems like. And between
Since
the two of them,
2007.
wow, since 2007. Between the two of them, they know everything about the Dunny civilization and the cavern that anyone could possibly know, including mining information from one of the creators of the Myst series and Uru, Richard A. Watson, affectionately known as Rawa, R-A-W-A. And also with me as co-host is Zeke. Zeke is one of the original hosts.
He is the original.
Not host.
Zeke is. Well, yeah.
Zeke is the original host.
Yeah.
He originated the tours way back when.
Zeke originated the tours. And where is Zeke standing? Over here with the hat? Are you over there, Zeke?
I'm on the hat and the green shirt with the Cavern.
Can you jump up and down for us, please? So preliminarily, I just want to make sure you've all buddied Mirabot, because in order to be able to do some special effects, including transportation effects, we need Murphak to run his bot, Mirabot, to port us around. Oh, Murphak, also say hello. He's in voice chat too. He's kind of shy. He doesn't usually talk. Can you say hi to the crowd, Murphak?
Hello, everyone.
So, just some quick commands. When we're going to be porting to the island of Ae'gura pretty soon. To do that, we're going to PM the word link to Mirabot. So let's go ahead and do that now. Unless Zeke or Larry, do you have anything else to say before we go?
I have one thing.
Go ahead.
Number one is if your sounds are too loud on the tour, you can go to your settings, which is the wrench, not your key, at the bottom right-hand screen. Go to your audio and turn down your ambience, sound effects, and music, and you'll be able to and have your Twitch stream open, and you'll be able to hear Larry a lot better without the Uru music bombarding you in certain areas. Second, we will be going in doing some spoilers in certain sections. So if you haven't played that, we'll try to be as spoiler-free as we can, but it is recommended that you try to complete the ages, because there are certain ages that are that will contain spoilers. And then no going on the ladders or climbing up things or opening doors. That is going to be provided by Microbot, because it can glitch out a lot of times. Is there anything else I'm missing, Larry?
Yeah, not so much that as far as the spoilers today. I don't think we're going to be doing anything that's going to cause that. But yeah, staying off of the ladders and such is a general rule.
Yeah, and then
anyway,
the second one is if you get lost, you can link to my Mirabot, and you can click what is it? To Larry? Is that what it is?
To Larry, yes.
To Larry. Find Larry, and it will take you. If your game crashes and you have to log back in and come here, that's what you'll do to join the Cavern Tours. And there will be sections where you can ask questions. You can DM the questions to me, Sue, or Susan, or when one of the hosts decides they want to have a section for questions, then you are free to ask their questions in game or on the Twitch chat. So,
okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and link to the bot and get this thing started, since we're already 11 minutes in.
Yeah.
Oops. Um,
I always stay behind in the hood to make sure everyone has ported.
Uh-oh. So that'll be interesting.
Oh, that was interesting. We wound up in a non-standard spot when we linked in.
Should we hold off our links right now?
Oh, no. I'm just saying that instead of... this is the Baron City office, and instead of winding up in that spot, that half with the Christmas tree, we wound up in the half with the desk.
Oh, okay.
So
All
that's
right.
unusual.
I'm headed. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Just trying to get Mike there.
I just... Okay. You might have to type link twice. It didn't work the first time for some odd reason.
May have been a typographical error then. I actually messed up the first time I tried by putting in a slash and forgetting that it's not a command.
All right, we're all here.
Okay, in that case.
Also, if you look in the chat, I also posted what you can type in to get to Larry.
Yeah, that's right. I need to bring up the in-game chat. There we go. Shiloh O'Brien, no. We put the tree in here deliberately. Okay. Now, we are continuing the tour of the eastern half of Ae'gura Island, and we're starting out here in the Baron City office. This is a space that Douglas Sharper used when not working in an age. He kept his personal journal here, and it's still here today. Sharper may have found the book for this room on Ae'gura Island, where he'd been working when he had most of the restoration of Teledon completed. An entry in his journal mentions that he found a book on November 5th of 2001, and also mentions the fish tank that he has in his Teledon office. So, 11501, found another new book today. Perhaps I have my city location now. Great view as well. I'm moving some things there. A little more out of the way. Glad I brought the more expensive fish tank now. The name of the office came from a DRC nickname for Douglas Sharper, which may have been coined by Dr. Ae'gura Kodama. They sometimes called him the Shroom Baron because he was in charge of restoring Teledon and could be quite prickly about interference or criticism. The office itself is part of the Guildhall complex and is in the western half of the edifice, the part that overlooks the palace. It's not far below the structure that is below the Guildhall itself, if you judge by the angle down to the palace and over to the Tokata rooftop. Let me go ahead and bring up a picture. Let's see.
Picture will be on the Twitch stream.
That's correct.
There. So.
And, okay. So let's get a look at.
Is this office technically inside the guild hall?
No.
Oh,
The
okay.
guild hall is a very specific structure, and I'll be talking about that when we go outside to look at the guild hall. But what I want to show you is... Okay, not that one. This one will do. Okay, so if you're looking at the stream window, you'll see a photograph of the outside of the guild hall. Uh, I don't know if you can see my mouse cursor.
I do.
Yeah, okay. So if you look at this, the guild hall itself is this tower at the very top. Then we have this triangular structure just below it, and the Baron's office is going to be somewhere in this area right here, most of the way up the cliff face. Say, the way you can judge where you are is if you look outside the windows here in the office, you'll be able to look down at the upper roof of the palace, and then if you look over towards the right, you will see the Tokata rooftop, and and you can judge by the angle to that and to the palace roof that we're above them and over to the left side of the Guildhall complex.
So right below your mouse cursor, I see, I think, a window.
Yeah, the windows that we actually have here are not shown on the model of the Guildhall,
Okay.
but that top row of windows and very close to the triangular structures, approximately where we are.
Okay, so the guild hall is the place where all the vertical windows are. The
No.
long, thin windows? No?
No.
Okay.
That
All right.
tower at the very top,
Oh,
which is right
okay.
here.
Great. Thank you.
That's the actual guild hall, and we'll be
Interesting.
and I will be talking again about that later.
Okay.
So let's back up and go back to the, oops, wrong one. Baron's office. Okay. Anyway. The location that's shown on your key, if after linking here, is actually a bit of a problem. When you first link to this office, your key should be will probably read 37060 by 27 by negative 39. The problem is that if that key coordinate is actually in midair above the Ae'gura Museum and nowhere near where we actually are. So that's one of the little anomalies in the game that Cyan never fixed. When Sharper found the linking book to the Baron's office, he kept it a secret from the DRC and convinced his Denise translator Nick White to do the same. The office is where he stored any documents that he didn't want the DRC to know about. When White translated a Denise document that spoke about Minespo's slave-running operation, the document and the translation were probably stored here in this office. The rugs on the office floor are both copies of the same compass rose rug that's found in Sharper's office in Teledan. The space of the office is divided into 2 rooms, and both have large windows that look out over Tokata Courtyard and the buildings around it. The eastern room is the one that holds the 3 paintings whose subject is the history of Teledan. It isn't known if the paintings of Teledan were here before Sharper moved into the office, or if he brought them in. And speaking of which, there's another painting of Teledan in Kadish's office. We don't know whether or not Kadish was aware of Teledan, or if he just picked up the painting and liked it. His painting is different from any of the 3 found in the office. So let's go ahead and since I still have the slideshow open, let's go ahead and take a look at that. So The paintings that we have here in the office are this one here, which is showing Teledon as it probably looked around the time that they were beginning to harvest the mushrooms of Teledon industrially. You can see on this painting that we've got the catwalks around here, but none of the mushrooms actually have the harvesting equipment on them, and we don't see any of the towers for the skyway ropes. This one is around the same time period when they were constructing the energy tower, and you can see that it's incomplete in this shot, although they do have a harvesting platform up around one of the mushrooms. And the final painting that's here in the office is this one, which shows the hut in the spore collection room. This is the painting that you see of Teledon in the Kadish's vault. And in this one, you can see that several things that are in the other painting are not in that one. It's very similar to this painting, but it doesn't have the solar collection tower or the energy tower, and it's also missing a number of features that are shown. Although it does show that there are some structures, such as these wires running out to one of the mushrooms. Excuse me, I was looking at the wrong one. But you can see that there are some of the walkways visible in this picture, even though a lot of the other structures are missing. Okay, let's see. Go ahead and kill that for the moment.
Can you please refresh my memory about something?
What's that?
One of the tourists' key shows 000. He has to calibrate his key first, right? Before he can get those cylindrical coordinates.
Yes, that's
showing.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Now
It's been a long time.
There's another thing is that between the standalone game and Uru, sometimes the standalone game will show information on the key that is not available here in the live version. So there's that to take into account as well. But I believe that the office does show key coordinates. Let me make sure of that. Yes, it does. So if you look at the stream or the game window, you'll see that I have my key open and it is showing the coordinates.
For me, I must have not done something because I have 000.
Yeah, you have to fully calibrate your key from the Great Zero in order to get coordinates.
So you have to find all the green and all the red markers.
Thought I did that. Maybe it's the 14 ones I have to do.
Maybe it's the glitch.
You also have to complete the calibration missions too, once you've got the red and green markers.
Oh,
That's
the
what I
yellow
meant.
ones?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one that you have to complete in order for the coordinates to work.
Okay, so the green ones, the red ones, and then
those
all
are
the
just to
yellow
get
ones.
those basically just get you into the entire facility.
Oh yeah. It
They
gets
are
you
not-
to the
Give you access to
machines
the
that give you
calibration
the
room.
yellow marker missions. Gotcha.
Right.
Wow.
It's the yellow ones that are the calibration missions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. As far as the Eastern room goes, this is, of course, where Sharper brought in this Christmas tree and set it up in time for Christmas one year. While on the surface in December of 2003, he decided to bring a few decorations back down to the cavern and cut down one of the Sitka spruce trees from his Rialto to bring yet small touch of the season to the office. That tree, or at least one like it, still appears every year around Christmas time. The western room, let's see, over here, okay. This is where this room has a desk, a bookcase, a telescope that also looks out over Tokata Courtyard. Sharper, I'm standing next to a framed photo of a tiger hunting expedition, which is right here next to the bookcase. He also has a coffee mug related to it that he uses as a pencil holder on the desk. And that mug has a flag of Kenya on it, which apparently is a place he liked to go for hunting. Sharper was an avid hunter. Let's see if we go back to... In the stream window, I just put up a picture of the flag so that you can see the whole thing instead of trying to walk around the mug to see it. Okay, let's go ahead and kill that again. And let's see. Before I go to point out some other details, were there any questions I missed?
I don't see any.
I believe that somebody sent me a private message a little while ago, so let me take a quick look at the back log. Oh, Scott Miller. Yeah, he was asking about the photograph, and yes, this is actually a photograph of an expedition or a tiger hunting expedition, which would have been in India during the time of British colonialism, judging by the clothing on it. So it's not a picture of Sharper or anyone he knew. It's a historic picture that he apparently just liked. What are the signs on the tapestry? Tapestry. What?
The carpet?
Well, yeah, I mentioned that earlier, that's a compass rose. So the writing that you see on that are the Dene words for north, south, east, and west.
By tapestry, they're referring to the one picture of Teledon that has the Dene numbers on it?
Well, those, I would have thought he would said a painting because I did mention,
yeah.
I did talk about those before.
Okay.
Okay, he did mean the carpet. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. And here we go. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. Now, some of the other things that you will find in here are various copies of things that Sharper found in Teledon. To give you an example, on the desk, and I believe another copy is rolled up as a cylinder in the basket next to Arte. But there is a picture that he brought from Teledon, and let me go ahead and bring that up in the window, stream window. Let's see. Here we go. There's a collection of various notes and charts in the office, and this paper here looks like a planner of some kind and seems to be called a slave chart. Its purpose cannot be confirmed because the writing on it is unintelligible. It's not written in Denis, so it might be the work of Douglas Sharper or Nick White, but either way, the handwriting cannot be read, so we don't know for certain who created this. The next picture that...
Oh, can you stay there for a second?
Sure.
So on the right side vertically, that's Shroomy, right?
Yes, that's a look at her from overhead at the body.
Okay, and then at the bottom left, that red symbol. Do you know what that is?
No, that's the thing, is that it's not a recognizable symbol, and we can't tell anything because the writing is completely illegible.
Okay, great. Thank you.
It could be maybe some shroomy, a study of it.
In any case, if you look at the middle of the picture, there is an overhead view of what I believe is supposed to be the bridge on that walkway between the slave cave and the plateau where the mushroom spore separator is.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, the next picture is a mystery. We have no machines or in the parts of the age that we can reach that resemble the sketches. A copy of this sketch was passed on to the DRC and is still hanging in their conference room in Tokata 2.
But there is a mushroom at the lower right corner, though.
Yes, but
Isn't that a mushroom?
mainly what we're looking at here are a whole bunch of technical sketches, and pretty much nothing in them appears anywhere that we can see. Although, now that I'm looking at it, in the upper right, that might be a note having to do with the electrical generator built into the tower. Or the electrical generation system, I should say. Because that's powered by... energy is collected by the reflector on the tower. Then it's used mechanically to turn a drive shaft that goes to a generator inside the giant mushroom that has Sharper's office in it, along with the control room.
Yeah, something needs to run the buckets, the
Right.
conveyor of buckets.
That and the lights, but we'll be talking about that more when we get to Teledon, sometime in the future. I don't know exactly when. This is another one of the pictures that we don't know anything about. Say, we have absolutely no clue as to what anything on this picture is supposed to be. We have a repeat of the symbol that we saw on the slave chart, but again, we have no idea what it was, or what that represents.
Well, you know what I do see? I see the same paddle wheel at the center of the bottom that we saw in the previous one. And then I see that same, it looks like a wood fence that we saw in the first picture.
That's an overhead view of the wooden pathways on the
Are you sure it's not the fence that comes up to block Shroomy from entering the
No,
lagoon?
because that's made out of metal.
Okay. And then what is that bust on the lower right? Is that a bust of somebody?
We haven't a clue
Buddha.
on that one. Yeah.
Arte, do you have any clue? Oh, you guys already discussed this. Never mind.
Right. No, we
It just reminds me of Buddha. So
mhm.
it's
Yeah, it
not
does.
Buddha, by the way.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would wonder is whether or not it had something to do with Rebek, but the artwork in Rebek actually, they do have carvings and they look very, very different from this. And then, of course, on the wall, we have this study of Shroomy. Or Shroomy species, anyway.
And the actual Shroomy was killed, right?
The
other
first one
creature
was.
that we see. Yeah. They're all called Shroomy.
Shroomy was a nickname given to the first arthropod that Sharper ran across. But at one point, he decided that, yes, he was going to hunt it down and kill it. However, once it was no longer in the territory, another one of the arthropods moved in. Okay. Scott Miller's never seen Shroomy. Well, when we do the Teledon tour, you will. We'll be bringing him up. We'll be bringing that particular arthropod up close and personal for you to see. That should be a pretty long time from now, though. Okay, there's one more picture I forgot to show you. Let's go ahead and go back to that. Here we go. These are some hand-drawn notes that Sharper made, and they're about how the feeders for the flappers were constructed. The flappers, of course, are those little animals that float on the surface of the water and then jump up into the air periodically. Again, we'll be talking a lot more about those when we get to Teledon. The other thing that you will find here on the desk is a note from Marie Sutherland to Dr. Richard A. Watson that it tells about Marie's discovery of Escher on Nolobin. Sharper was very interested in talking to Escher, but I don't know that he ever actually got the opportunity because it isn't mentioned in his journal. He just said that he wanted to meet the guy, but not that he did. Okay. Now, going back to the paintings for the moment, the three paintings of Teledon that are hanging here in the office are called paintings 2, 3, and 4, from left to right as you face them. The order is 4, 2, and 3. They appear to have been commissioned at the time when the Guild of Caterers were installing the spore harvesting machinery. In painting 4, you will, which is the one of the hut, you can see that the hut doesn't yet have any mushrooms growing on it or on the catwalk around it. Painting number 2, however, contains an unsolved mystery. There are numbers on it, and let me go ahead and bring up that picture.
He's referring to these three paintings behind the Christmas tree.
Correct. Let's see. Picture, picture, picture. Oh, here you go. No, that's great.
Can I ask a
This
quick
is
question,
bizarre.
Larry, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
If this was Sharper's office and he was sort of adverse to the DRC, why did they dismantle all his stuff in here?
They didn't. This is his office as he left it, as it was when he left the cavern.
Right, but why didn't the DRC remove everything if he was
Because they
such
didn't
a...
know he was here.
Oh, this is his secret office?
This is a
The-
secret office, yes.
Even
Yeah.
the DRC didn't know about this office?
That's correct.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sharper, in his journal, had a mistrust with the DRC.
Yeah.
For some odd reason. We're not sure why he had that mistrust. We don't know he had a mistrust and he wanted to keep things secret for a reason.
My thing was always he just had an aversion to authority.
Aha.
Yeah, he was, as I mentioned before, that he was actually very prickly about the DRC's control over what he did and where he went. So he used this, he kept this office a secret from them, and used it to store things that he didn't want them to know about.
So how was he able to get the book that leads us here?
Well, he found it.
Oh, he found it. Okay, and took advantage of it.
Correct.
Very
The other thing is
interesting.
that he did, of course, the reason why he was given Teledon to restore is because he was the one who discovered the first linking book to it.
Okay, I have another question. I'm so sorry if that's okay.
No problem.
So with linking books, you can't link from the same region to the same region. So if I recall correctly, the linking book to this office is located in Ae'gura Island.
No,
So, oh, it's never mind. I'm
it's in
gonna.
Teledon.
I wasn't gonna say that because I don't want to spoil it. But oh, you're right. I beg your pardon. Okay.
Well, I'm not going to spoil it by saying where it is in Teledon, but it is in Teledon.
Mm-hmm.
It's up for the explorer to find for themselves.
It's been
Yep.
a long time since I ran an avatar through this game from start to finish, so I'm so sorry.
I kind
forget.
of want to do that right now, actually.
Yeah, I know. It's like I
Anyway.
need to do that. Sorry about that.
Okay. For some reason, I have a picture of the numbers. They're not showing up when I try to show them. They're on this picture that I've got in the stream window at the moment. But up in the upper right-hand corner, there should be 3 Deneen numbers. And for some reason, they're not showing up.
You'd have to take a key picture of it and then display the key picture in Twitch.
No, that's what I have is a key picture.
Oh, really?
But but for some reason the numbers are not showing up in Twitch. So I guess that particular mystery is still playing games with me. In any case, they painting number 2 has numbers on it that only appear in key photographs. To the naked eye, they are invisible. The numbers that show up are in Deneen 3, 1, and 4. It's likely that they were intended to be read as individual digits rather than as a single number, because when the Deneen drew the boxes, wanted a number to be one digit, then they were displayed as a box with all of the boxes for them connected. So explorers have guessed about the meaning or purpose of those numbers, but never came up with a good explanation. Guesses have included a date of some kind, or perhaps a coordinate on the Teledon map found in Sharper's desk. The painting itself appears to show the lagoon before the harvesting operation began, and while they were installing the catwalks. Of note is the lack of work platforms on any of the mushrooms or the cloth catchers that were installed around their bases to catch falling spores. It's also worth noting that there are many more mushrooms in the painting than exist in the age today. It was, of course, the Guild of Caterers harvesting operation that killed off most of the spores.
And Rawa didn't remember what it meant?
Actually, I never asked him. That's
Okay.
one of those. That's one of those things that's probably better off left as a mystery, so that
Yeah.
people can imagine for themselves what it might mean.
Right. I agree.
Anyway, that's pretty much everything that I had to say about the office. So, do we have any questions?
Well, Xiao and Tao appears to have asked and answered this question, can you trap Shroomy? There is a trap. I know there's a gate that you can bring up, but...
That gate was actually there to put in there by Guild Captain Ventus and his harvesting operation to keep Shroomy out, because Shroomy is actually quite fond of the mushrooms.
Right.
The same ones that they were harvesting spores from. And so and Sharper does mention trapping her in the lagoon with that gate. However, I've never seen her go in, the current Shroomy go inside there.
Yeah, I think there was a rumor that you could see her, but I think it was a false rumor.
Oh no, you can see her in the harbor. You can't see her in the lagoon.
Right, come up into lagoon. Because he describes her coming into the lagoon and sunning herself. Isn't there some sort of... Oh, but there's a device at the end of the pier that's like it's like a harpoon, but made with sound.
No, actually, that's a mining device, and that was put in there by Douglas Sharper at the request of the DRC. What they wanted it for, I don't know, but he didn't actually want to put it in.
Oh, I thought its purpose was to get Shroomy. Interesting.
Nope. Well, that's all in Teledon, so we will get to there eventually, Susan, before we go on a rabbit trail here.
Yeah, this room is tied, obviously, to Teledon, as is another room in Ae'gura, so that's why we discussed Teledon.
Case, so unless we had any other questions...
Arte, do you have anything here?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. In any case, that's it for this. This is, by the way, is the only room in the entire guild complex that we can, guild hall complex that we can get into. So presumably, this would be. There would be other rooms in the cliff face that actually we're able to get into. So you have to presume that other offices in the guild hall complex would look something like this. Even ever, I seem to remember these twos were once separated, and the answer to that is no. They've always appeared the way they are now. The one thing that, of course, that we've never had satisfactory answer for is how you get into this room, because there's no sign of a door.
Very carefully.
Oh, you got ventilation in the roof.
Yeah, I would say that maybe we have a trick bookshelf and it opens up, but the thing is that the bookshelf doesn't go all the way down to the floor. So, Unless you can walk through the walls, that I don't see a way in and out of this office that connects it with the rest of the guild hall. And of course, that also means that how it was constructed is a bit of a mystery, because you can't actually write a linking book to a place until that place already exists.
So if we
About-
remove this, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say about the only way that I can picture somebody getting into this place in the first place is by coming in through the windows.
There's a long
Another
climb up
thought.
here.
Maybe there's a trap door underneath the rug, and that's why the rug's in place to hide the trap door.
Oh.
Maybe. It's about as good as a theory as anyway. And of course, they've got 2 copies of this rug, one of which is in here, and the tree is sitting in the center of it.
Maybe it's under the trap door is underneath the second rug under the tree.
No,
Mhm.
because there's a tear in the carpet that exposes the floor.
Oh, that's true too. Never mind.
Okay.
Good idea.
Anyway, it's about time for us to go ahead and move on to the outside of the guild hall complex. So, Mirfak, if you can warp us to Tokata Courtyard, please. While we're waiting for him to take us there, you had something to say?
Yeah, I said, how about the ceiling? That could be a trapdoor too, or something. Like an attic or something.
Yeah, I'm not
If there's-
seeing anything up there.
Yeah, there's
no,
no
I take that
obvious door or anything, unless the
Right.
whole circular panel lifts up.
No, I take that back. If we look up at the ceiling, both rooms have a mesh in the middle. So apparently there is some sort of a space up there, but on the other hand, if there were, I would expect there to have been a ladder leading up to it.
But what's so interesting, and pardon me for beating a dead horse, is this book here that leads back to the bedroom in Teledon is a DRC book.
That's a spoiler, but okay.
Well, it's right here on this pedestal. So
Oh,
this
you're
room was meant to be secret.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that anyone knew that book was there except for Sharper.
Yeah, Sharper probably used that book to go back and forth with his work.
But he didn't create the book. The DRC created the book.
Of course, the DRC knew all about Teledon.
So he just grabbed one of the linking books to Teledon and brought it in here
Mm-hmm.
to this office.
But
Okay.
why would a linking book to Teledon be in Teledon? Anyway.
It's not in Teledon. It's in his office here on Ae'gura Island.
I know, but the theory is that he found the linking book to Teledon in Teledon and brought it here.
No. He found it doesn't say where he found the first Teledon linking book. Presumably he was exploring Ae'gura Island or possibly the Denis city at the time. But he found the first book there and was assigned to restore the age. And later on, the DRC found many more books. We'll be seeing that actually later in this tour. But as far as there's no overlap. In other words, this book is a DRC book that led to his office in Teledon. Which he co-opted to use here, because he liked whenever he traveled to this office, he came from his office in Teledon and went back there.
Wait a second. Did the Dunny make this book, and the DRC approved it, or the DRC made the book?
Well, yeah. Actually, it was probably a Denis book, that they simply approved.
Do we know anything about the paintings in the ceiling that rims around it and on the floor?
No, it's just a simple decorative design. That design is also appears in Teledon.
Well, in order for the DRC to approve the book, they must have found it first. I'm just killing time before Merfac warps us. Does anyone else have any better questions than I do? Because I'm really puzzled. I'm way down in the rabbit hole.
You're puzzled in a puzzle game.
Oh no, another pun.
Yeah, once I get started.
Oh goodness.
That's why I warn people, don't get me down that road.
Where did all the presents go? I'll never tell.
No. Because we are in the present.
Oh, Zeke. Larry, can you mute him somehow in Skype? Can you boot him from Skype? Just kidding.
Sorry, I'm not getting between the two of you.
Well, I'm still puzzled.
Actually, when you consider that this was a private office for Sharper, I'm not sure how pitiful you would have to be to put presents to yourself under the tree.
Yeah, good point.
I give myself presents for Christmas.
It's called justifying buying things for yourself. Oh, it's my Christmas present to myself this year.
Well, actually, yes and no, Mr. Cynic. But like there was a certain coffee maker I wanted. Okay, so I went ahead and ordered it and received it, but I wrapped it up as a Christmas present to myself and stuck it up in the closet, which was not easy to do. So I made myself wait for my own gift to myself.
But it's kind of how would you say, pointless to wrap it up because you're not going to surprise yourself?
Well, but does a Christmas present always, by definition, have to be a surprise?
Let's see.
Not always, but for one thing, it's a little hard to wrap up a child's bicycle in a way where you can't tell what it is.
See, you're proving my point. So Larry's on my side.
And that would be a big no.
Is Mirfig? Well, is it take a while to do this? The warping?
Actually, it shouldn't have taken this long, so I'm kind of wondering. I repeated my request to him in the stream chat, but
Maybe having technical difficulties.
maybe
AFK for a minute.
Murfac is going to warp us using Murabot. By the way, this instance we're in is not the public instance. This is Murfac's robots instance. So
Yes.
if you go to the Barron City office / Sharper's office, the usual way, there's not going to be a Christmas tree here because Cyan only puts this here during the holidays.
So he has a bot in the city. Looks like.
Okay. In that case, if he's in the city, then you should be able to link to him. Let me go ahead and
I'll let you try it out and then let me know.
Yeah. Right. I still got him selected for private messaging.
Okay.
Yes, everyone PM link to.
Wait, hold on, Susan. Before we do that.
We're okay, yes. He's actually in the Ae'gura Island, so go ahead and link to the bottom.
All right. Yeah. We don't want to crash everybody, Susan.
Oh, that would be fun.
I thought he would warp us here, but
Oh,
It's okay.
I can't link to him for some odd reason. That's weird.
okay. We've still got the canvas and the
we go.
barriers up, so we do need to have those removed, please.
Everyone say hi to Maribot.
Do you find it weird that bots are in the cavern anyway? Even though they're helpful.
Actually, there's only the one left. All the other ones have been shut down over the years.
Oh wow, the magic treasure bot.
Yeah, those Magic was shut down a couple years ago, I think. So
I
those
think-
games are completely gone.
I never.
Mr. Magic left the community, did he not?
At the very least, he shut down his server, that's for sure.
Yeah, and then what? There was Microbot, Leorobot. I was here when
Maribot, not Microbot.
not Microbot, Leorobot, Lyrobot,
Lyrobot, there
I was
was
here with-
Mimibot.
Obot,
Mimibot,
yeah,
and Mirrobot.
Magic Bot.
There's a lot of bots for a while.
Yeah,
All
there
right,
were.
so it's 12:03. We should probably
Okay.
continue
In any
on.
case, we're all here, so yeah. The Guild Hall itself is a building complex at the south end of the Zero Meridian line that runs up the Great Stairs. The hall itself is the tower that can be seen from Tokata Courtyard. The Guild Hall was built atop the Temple of the Great King, which was constructed in Denis year 643. That would have been 7014 BCE. The temple was sealed in Denis year 1501 when with King Alcindor inside it, along with a number of linking books to ages that had been infected by the Pinto Plague. This was done on Alcindor's orders to stop the spread of a biological weapon he had developed to end a war with the people of the Age of Pinto. The age that the Pinto were natives of had been a linking book there had been created by a sect of Denis called the Judges of Yavo. They wrote it specifically to recruit soldiers in an attempt to overthrow the government. They proved a threat even after the judges were defeated, and Alcindor settled on genocide as the only way to stop them permanently. The problem was that sick Pinto traveled to other ages, and the plague they carried became impossible to control. Alcindor, out of remorse for having unleashed it to begin with, decided to lock himself inside the temple with the infected books and the materials that had been used to create it. In honor of this, the Temple of the Great King was renamed the Tomb of the Great King the following year. However, not all was sweetness and light. Alcindor's prophetess Nemea wrote the Book of Nemea, in which she called Alcindor a fraud and impossible, and harshly criticized the creation of the plague. This sent the Denis into a religious upheaval. Up until then, it had been generally accepted that Alcindor was the great king of Denis prophecy. After the book was published, the society fell into chaos. Up to and through Denis year 1902, cult temples were sanctioned and encouraged by King Myst, and were built along a proposed new line for the Great Zero, which appears on a map drawn by Ae'gura. Among the new temples that were built were the Cults of the Tree, which was built in 1843, the Temple of Water, which was 1876, and the Temple of the Sacred Stone, which was built in Denis year 1902. Few adherents of the Temple of Yavo remained. M'Erta's rule is filled with controversy, and when he attempted to change the oath administered by the guilds to their new members, they closed ranks against him. He then broke the seal on the tomb of the great king secretly at the request of his mother, whose name was Jalatha. The Pinto plague proved to be alive and well, having gone dormant in the tomb. Jalatha took sick and died after she took many of the linking books from the tomb over to the Temple of the Tree, which was her favorite cult. M'Erta resealed the tomb and strengthened the seals. However, it was too little, too late, and an evolved version of the Pinto plague spread among the Denis people. It was not until 2257, which would have been about 5400 BC on the surface, that a final cure was found for the plague. In Denis 2504, during the reign of King Nagan, the first guild council chamber was built atop the tomb of the great king, despite a half-hearted protest by the priesthood. The new building hid most of the temple from view. At the same time, they began constructing offices and meeting rooms in the rock below the temple and the guild hall, which is what we see when we look at the complex today. The suite of 2 rooms, now called the Baron's office, is one of those. A man named Tavar was born during that time and became a popular religious leader. He denounced the 2,500 religious sects that had sprung up by then and preached that Denis should return to the worship of Yavo and its official church. In Denis year 3077, he also criticized the construction of buildings and offices around the tomb. During this time, King Rakari proclaimed the original zero meridian to be the accurate one and officially fixed it as running down the line of the Great Stairs. In Denis year 6970, during the reign of King Kereth, construction was begun on the current Guildhall Tower, which sits atop and further buries the tomb, making it all but impossible to see. Its completion date was also the day when Kereth abdicated and transferred the rule of Denis to the guilds and the city council. This ended the line of kings. The transfer was considered to be a regency that would rule until the real great king finally appeared. But of course, this event never happened, and if you're no longer appointing kings, how a new one is supposed to appear is a question I can't answer. During Aetris restoration attempts, Master Taman was in charge of excavating the guild house. He uncovered the tomb of the great king, which turned out to be a huge chamber under the courtyard around the Guildhall Tower. Using equipment operated by Master Turkan, they determined that there was a space on the other side, a hallway filled with books written in a foreign script, and which presumably was Pinto, and a second chamber with a linking book to Taranai. The picture, okay, right now we are looking at the outside of the guild complex. We don't know what the big window at the bottom of the rock face are for. Richard Watson, we asked Richard Watson what he had found out when he was here as part of the DRC, and he simply commented that they were there to give the Guild of Window Washers something to do.
That still tickles me when I think about that.
So when you use the terms Guildhall complex, you're referring to this big stone stalagmite, right? And
Correct.
Guildhall Tower, is that interchangeable with the term Guildhall? Or Guildhall Tower, you're referring to
can
this
be.
stalagmite?
It can be. Let me go ahead and show you. I would have held this off, but this is as good a point as any.
So Guildhall Tower is interchangeable with Guildhall Complex, or are you
No,
referring
the other way around. You said it right the first time.
Okay, so Guildhall / Guildhall Tower. I'm typing in my schedule how the terminology is.
Okay, what I'm going to show you on the stream right now is a model that somebody made of the Guildhall Tower as it was originally supposed to appear in early game sketches.
Yeah, and that model was made in Unreal Engine.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I want to.
I forget. Couldn't you download the model somewhere?
That's correct. That's how I got it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do I have to restart this? Because it's not letting me oh, there we go. Here we go. So this is the way the tower was originally supposed to look as opposed to how it looks right now. And I'll be showing you another picture of this, which shows it in better detail later on. So we have the tower itself. This is sitting in a courtyard that is on top of the rock face of the stalagmite that the rest of the complex is built into. Now, over here, we can see a portion of the courtyard has been removed. And if we look down, that building that you see in the middle underneath the supports for the tower is the tomb of the Great King. And it's actually completely disconnected from the rest of the tower. In fact, let's go over here. Bam. And you can see that the top of the tomb is actually not connected at all to the tower above it. It's just that they built these supports that come down and wind up resting on the base of the tomb. So let's go get a better look at that. So up there is the tower. Down here is the tomb. And this is where they sealed Alcindar and all of the books and other things along with him. So. Okay, I'm not sure.
That could also be where all the Denny bathrooms are.
Considering that this area was sealed away and inaccessible to the Denis people, that would be rather inconvenient.
So obviously the Great King was Alcindar then.
Well, that's a long story, and I'll be talking about that later on when I discuss the Pinto War.
But he's in the tomb of the Great King? Or
Yes,
is that okay.
Kurith was much later. No,
Okay.
It was Alcindar who sealed himself into this building right here in order to protect the rest of Denis from the plague.
Susan,
That, of course.
Elsinore sealed himself in the year 1502. Carith wasn't around until the late 6800s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a very big time difference between the two of them. Many generations, even by Denis terms. Okay, so let's go ahead and get out of this.
And real quick, just to let everyone know, the history of all the kings is located in books in the Hall of Kings, which we'll visit at some future time.
Yep.
With some of them residing on the Dakota rooftop and some in the Ae'gura Library.
And are those duplicates or extras?
Those are the ones that are located on the Dakota rooftop and the library are not in the Halls of Kings.
Okay.
They were taken there because the translators were working on them.
Interesting.
And they're still in handwritten format. They haven't been typed out like the other books in the hall.
Okay, now let's see. Where was I? Okay. I was going... Oh, yeah, something else I was going to mention. So let's go back and look at a photograph here. Okay, so I need to be...
And real quick, for Kitty, what we're just talking about with the Temple of the Great King being the Tomb of the Great King, that was the result of the Pento plague. There were other plagues throughout the life of the Denis, but the Pento was the most devastating. It shortened lifespans by a quarter or I should say killed off a quarter of the population and cut birth rates by half. And for a people where the women are fertile for about 18 hours every 30 days or something like that, it's the decreased birth rate was devastating.
Yeah, I'll be talking a lot more about that in the future. Okay, there we go. It took a while for it to get that thing to come up. If you look at the stream window, the map that you find in Tokata Courtyard next to the DRC tent suggests that the guild hall and the surrounding buildings were reached by a bridge connecting a tunnel to the tower above the Hall of Kings. Remains of the bridge can be seen from the palace alcove and from the concert hall bridge. Here I'm showing you the broken arch between the Hall of Kings and the cliff face from up on this about the same level.
Can you please mouse over that vertical structure that's the Hall of Kings and then show the palaces and then point at that bridge you're referring to?
Yes, this is the Hall of Kings right here. And then here's the archway that there's basically something that looks like a door here. And then, of course, the palace is this part down here, and this is the alley next to the palace, along where the Nexus terminal is. So the Hall of Kings is this door right here.
Thank you. Yeah, never noticed that broken arch before.
But if you look, I don't have a picture of the map available at this particular moment, but if we walk over there, let's take a quick, let me get this out of the way. Okay, and then back to the game window. So, if we go over here to the DRC tent and look at the map,
And yes, Murphac removed the DRC tent for us for this
Excellent.
tour.
That's correct. Okay. You should be able to see my mouse. So if you look right here, this is the Hall of Kings Tower, and you'll see that there is what looks like a map that goes to the upper section of Denis there. This would have, and then of course there it shows what looks like a tunnel on the other end of the arch. The where the other places that led to, there are 3 residential districts up there for upper class people. Isha, Jiteri, and Jarin, I believe, are the 3. What the map doesn't show is that over in behind this legend here, there was another residential district for middle and lower class citizens who worked on the island, known as Cavern. And but it's not actually on this map. It's at the end of this inlet that's on the other side of the stalagmites from the walkway over to the library. By the way, Carathan actually, unlike the other 3 residential districts, goes all the way down to the water line. So Arte and I were supposing that it would have been possible to get there via a private boat, although we don't know that for certain. It's just a theory on our part. But on the other hand, I could see that easily happening because since Denis was very much a class-based society, I'm fairly certain that all those upper class folks wouldn't have wanted the riffraff walking through their neighborhoods to get to the rest of the city.
So on the map, is the blue to represent what they restored, basically, and the yellow to represent the path that they had completed but hadn't done yet without the blue?
Actually, I believe that the blue color is just representing buildings in general,
Okay.
not ones that they've restored. Because, for instance, both of the Tokita buildings are there in blue, and those are Tokita 2 especially is unrestored.
Okay.
So is the palace, for that matter, and of course we can't get into any of the palace.
Now, the Great Zero beam, it's on the tip of the stalagmite. It's not sitting on top of the guild hall. Is that correct?
Yeah, there is a very, very tall stalagmite, and it's not on the map. It would have been somewhere up in this area here. And then it north runs through the guild hall, through the stalagmite in the middle of Tokita courtyard, down the great steps, and then out through the Arch of Kareth.
And that's the Great Zero Meridian line.
The Zero Meridian line, yes.
The Zero Meridian line. Thank you.
I call the Zero Meridian is basically dead north. Okay. Anyway, now we took off the removed some barricades and took off the canvas tarp that is normally in front of this gap inside the between the two halves of the Guildhall complex, so that you could see inside of it. If you look down it, there are light. It doesn't actually go all the way through. Instead, it goes down a certain distance, then ends in a blank wall. At which point there are some DRC lights and barricades there as well. But this strip, which is a design that represents branches of the great tree of possibilities, marks the official Denis North, the Zero Meridian line, and that line was very important because government and important buildings, such as temples and such, were always built along this line, at least until they ran out of space where they could do so. Now, going back to the stream window, I'm going to show you a picture or three.
The reason you're hearing suddenly jungle noises is because Mirfak has overlaid the age of J-Lock over his city so that he can use the J-Lock columns to provide a surface for us. J-Lock, I beg your pardon. So he can provide these J-Lock columns for us to provide a solid surface for us to walk on. Because if you were to use the bot to get past where the curtains are, you'd fall through the age. Mm-hmm. And so Mirfak had to fix that for us.
In any case, now, if you look at the stream window, this is the triangular structure at the top of the cliff. And Mirfak, the reason why he was actually bringing in J-Lock is so that he could use the pillars. If you can take us up to the top of the cliff so that we can get a look at the stuff that's up there, please. Okay, so we should be at a place where we can get a look at everything.
No, we're still at the same place.
Oh, no. Okay.
Well, at least we can discover here. To go to the end of the hall.
Larry, are you able to show us a long shot of where we're headed to? Like show us the whole stalagmite and use your mouse to mouse over where we're going for context?
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Here, let me get back to my phone.
It's a lot to take in.
Yep. It's a big building.
Yes, yes. Now that there is where we're going.
Say this is the structure that is just below the Guildhall courtyard, and it looks like it's triangular, and we normally are looking up at this. And then let's see. This is the actual Guildhall itself, up at the top of the cliff.
And it has the 5 prongs that the map shows. 4. Well, the map shows a star shape.
Actually, no, it's 6. I'm sorry, it's 6.
Oh, okay.
And then if you look here, so there's the triangular structure. There's the tower up here. And what I want him to do is to take us up here so that we can get a closer look at this area.
Yeah, I saw the door to the Guildhall there.
Yeah, the the pointy thing kind of looks like teeth to me when you look up at it. There it is.
Mhm. By the way, in this photograph, you'll notice that there is smoke rising up from the courtyard. That smoke dates back to when a portion of the Guild Hall complex collapsed under the feet of Phil Henderson. He climbed up here without approval, and it was thought that he was killed in that collapse.
And that was an episode that was actually released live, wasn't it? Or some,
A recreation of it.
because I have a transcript that one of the players sent me of
Mhm.
the words that were exchanged during that collapse.
Yeah. If you'll recall,
And here
a
all
couple
along, I
of,
thought that's just where the DRC was barbecuing.
but but if you'll recall, I brought during a previous tour, I showed you a machinima play that was done of the incident where he was captured, and it was just after that after he was imprisoned and released that he climbed up there and got involved in that accident.
Do we know whether Phil still lives?
Yes.
Okay.
He survived both of the times that people thought he was killed, mainly because he had a whole bunch of Baro watching over him.
Because his Relto is pretty gloomy.
Yep. That's actually there was actually a theory at the time that the reason it was so dark is because he was dead, but that was actually not untrue.
Well, I think only the Relto owner can create the mood of the Relto. Is that correct?
No, it's actually done with Relto pages, and for a long time he had access to one that we didn't.
There's another picture.
The picture that I've got up at the moment is one of the windows on the rock face, which I hadn't pointed out before. So I'm just kind of working my way through some photos here.
I seem to recall that while we're waiting to get ported, that in a previous tour you showed us in Twitch a bigger version of the guild hall as
That's
it
what
was
I'm going
designed
to be doing
be.
in a moment.
Oh, fantastic! Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
So yeah, at the moment I was just waiting to see whether or not we were going to get worked up to look at the top of the tower for a while there. Oh, I see. He put the pillars under the walkway on the other side of the barriers. What I was asking for, Mirfak, is to go up to the top of the guild hall tower complex, near the tower, and looking at the structures up there. And as far as that goes, this is a picture that model I took you through a few minutes ago was based on. Say the cat, so you can see all the stuff that I showed you in that in this picture.
Oh, cool.
And as I said, this is a lot more detailed than that model is.
And I think there was a detailed drawing of the tomb too, wasn't there?
Well, that's at the bottom of that picture. If you look
Okay,
down
there wasn't a close-up version. Okay.
Oh no, there
Just-
isn't. This is the only.
Just trying to remember.
This is the only line drawing.
Okay.
Other pictures that I've got show where it was going to be originally placed when it was they conceived of it. It was actually going to be down near the harbor looking out over the Arch of Kareth.
Yeah, and if you stick to that picture right there, it's hard to make out, but there was some dunny writing. The first one.
Oh, that isn't Denis writing. That's English
Oh,
on that drawing.
Oh, also while we're waiting, Larry, would you mind posting in chat your website, your very informational website?
Which is greatly
The
out
H.
of, it's actually very much out of behind the times at this point. I have a lot more up-to-date information there.
Oh.
So where are we?
Okay, we warped together.
Yeah. Okay, actually, he just took us outside so he could move the pillars.
Oh. And I'm the one moving. Or no, you're moving.
Yeah.
I'm watching that window, and I think I'm the one moving.
So
Might take him a minute.
but my Myst fan site is
Thank you. It has so much information in it, you wouldn't believe.
It is out of date, but it's there.
Yeah.
Oh, we are.
Okay.
Officially here.
Let's see where we are.
Okay.
Oh, is it over this way?
Thank you, Murphac.
You're looking backwards.
Yeah, I'm looking at in the wrong direction.
Right, don't look down.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, we're looking at the tower at the top.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so cool.
Ooh.
You guys see the pointy thing that I think looks like a mouth?
Yeah. I see the door.
He should be. There's the smoke that comes up from it from the time of Phil Henderson's accident.
It's kind of scary not having the pillars there and not knowing which one's the end and which one's not.
So you can see the courtyard around the tower, and then below that is that structure that I was talking about that's triangular shaped. And let's see if I back up some more. Okay. Yeah. If you're looking at my view on the stream, I'm looking down at the palace, and you can see a lot of the stuff that you saw from the Baron's office window. And then over in that direction is...
Okay, there's the Hall of Kings that you're hovering
there's
over.
There's the broken bridge right there. Oops. And then over in this direction is the Tokata rooftop where all the translators hang out.
And you can get there. Actually, you can port to the public Tokata rooftop by PMing to Dakota to Mirabot. Don't do it now.
With a D, yeah.
But I'm going to type the instructions.
Yeah. Matter of fact, gave us some more light up here so that you can see things a little easier. One thing that I'd like to point out is that if you look at this entire structure, you will notice that there is a distinct lack of guardrails. Yet another example of the complete disregard that Denis had for placing guardrails in places that were up high. Say, as a general rule, they weren't particularly careful about Shiloh O'Brien. You brought this up earlier, but I was going to point this out later on. But that was one of the things that Dr. Watson said to us when we were reviewing pictures of this place. And that is that this is why this and some structures over in Tokita 2 are why the DRC never invited OSHA down here, and why they put up all those traffic cones.
But they must have had a safety committee, because they did post safety instructions in the classroom, for example.
Well, that was the thing, is that he was joking about it at the time, but
Okay.
that's what he told us, is that there was a reason why they didn't invite OSHA down here.
Well, if the Denny always had their Relto books on their hips, but they wouldn't have had Relto books, the Denny.
Nope.
Because that was a
Yeah.
gift from Yisha to explorers.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Never mind.
However,
So-
that's not to say that you would not normally have the Denis carrying books with them, at least when they are outside the cavern.
But something to put
the
on their
Relto-
belts.
No, they didn't necessarily carry them on their belts. No, but it was actually a normal thing for the Denis to carry, when they were outside of the cavern, to carry a linking book to a safe location with them. And and it was exactly for that reason, is that it was a fail-safe in case they got into a bad situation.
But they couldn't use them if they're inside the cavern, because you can't use it in the same.
That, and they would have felt safe here.
Well, wait a minute. If they're on Earth, that really occupies the same space as the cavern. It's really the same age, so they wouldn't be able to use them.
This is the cavern.
Right, but you're saying when they were outside the cavern, meaning on Earth? Is that what you mean?
No, they never
on
went
another
to the surface.
Okay.
Officially, anyway. No,
Okay.
I'm talking about when they visited other ages. They routinely carried linking books to a safe place with them.
Of
Yeah.
course.
So they probably had an age where they found something where they can link to, and they had to carry it like the Relto book, similar, where they could just link to it if they got in that situation.
And I think there was a linking book in each of those Scorizen environmental suits as well.
Something I had showed a little while ago, which I will put back up, is scattered around the cavern, Ae'gura Island. You will see signs that are direction signs. This one here, of course, is for the guild hall. However, these are not Denis. These were actually posted by the DRC, who designed them, and did not exist in Denis times.
Oh, wow. I wonder if they're doing a tourist attraction eventually.
Basically, that's
like Jurassic
pretty
Park.
much how it was. The DRC was restoring. Their idea was to restore the place so that it would be inhabitable by surface people.
Well, they are the Denny Restoration Council, after all.
Mm-hmm. And then, let's see, is there anything else?
Does anyone have any questions? I know the four of us in voice chat are talking a lot. Does anyone have
Yeah.
tourists have questions? Or are we answering them all with our own discussions?
I think a lot of it. I'm looking to see what.
Okay.
There's
Shiloh
one
asked
here.
about cavern security handled with books. Pardon me. And we find like from stories like from the novels, from the Book of Atris and Book of Tiana, that the linking books, a common place to link into an age would be like in a cave, as far as for hiding the linking book back. In the case of inhabited ages, they would look for a place to secure or hide securely the return linking book back to Denis.
However, a number of ages, official ages that they would visit regularly, there was no hiding. They just put the linking books wherever, usually at the end of the area that they were concerned with.
And like the grain ages, I mean, it was all Denis working there. So like Urkana, for one, for Duna, there would be no need to hide the linking books.
Now, one thing that I've been wondering, could the guild hall, since they hid those books in there, could have been a form of prison or trapped books in which they would have prisoners within the trap books and then trap them within that guild so that no one had access to those books.
Okay.
Actually, there's no such thing as a trap book.
Right. That was according to the official explanation for Denis canon. Trap books were invented. First off, Cyan Worlds, the Miller brothers in particular, were hired by the DRC to create the games as a way of introducing Denis to the public in a kind of hidden way. And trap books, according to that lore, were invented specifically by the Miller brothers for the game because they didn't want to, at that point, show the actual ages. In Myst 4, which was Revelations, I believe.
Yes.
They did show where the red and blue books went to, which was Spire and Haven.
Yeah,
So
for Myst, it was basically for the convenience of, or to facilitate gameplay.
Correct.
Okay.
So that's not those even within game canon lore, the trap books were a game mechanic.
Okay.
So at this point, unless we have any other questions, oh yeah, Shiloh O'Brien, would they link to a locked room where only the Denis had a password to get out? As a general rule, no. First off, the only now definitely Atris did that. He had observation rooms that were enclosed in a Nara cave, behind Nara bars, so that he could visit his sons occasionally on Spire and Haven. But the actual Denis didn't really do that. As a matter of fact, the only locked room that we know about, of course, is the one for Kadish, his vault. However, Kadish did not have a linking book into the vault. That would have kind of made the whole thing pointless. The reason why we can link directly to it is because of the journey cloths, and those were made by the Baro. And I believe we're out of time at this point, so we'll go ahead and end today's tour at this and pick it up again next month.
Huh?
We'll be covering Tokata at that point. The whole shebang, Tokata 1 and 2, and what it was supposed to look like originally. Let's go ahead and bring up...
Does anyone have any last-minute questions?
Yeah, we're still 10 minutes out from the official end.
And thank you to Larry and Arte and Zeke and Murphak. Let's all give them a round of applause, please. And I also want to, like I said earlier, these tours are the fourth Saturday of each month, starting at 11 a.m. key time. And our next tour then would be June 24th. So please mark your calendars. I also post the next date on the Imager in the Cavern Tours hood. And Larry is about to post the events for today. Arte, would you like to promote your story night?
Absolutely. So at 1400 key time today will be Story Night Europe, and we're going to be wrapping up the story from the Book of Ae'gura, the novel, Myst, the Book of Ae'gura. And tonight at 2330 key time will be original Story Night, and it'll be a repeat of Story Night Europe. Story nights are held every Saturday, 1400 key time and 2330 key time.
Today's calendar is up in the stream window, by the way.
In the public hood of Tsanos, and it's a Denis word, by the way, that means everlasting. So, at any rate,
which is Arte.
So,
and go ahead. And would you like to promote your Denis courses, language courses as well, please?
I'm getting there. I'm
sorry. Hey, I'm giving you an intro, Arte.
I appreciate that. So this week finishes up the Book of Ae'gura. Next week, I'm actually going to be traveling because the family's going to be celebrating Memorial Day next weekend. So it'll resume the second weekend of June. I also teach, as Susan said, that I teach the Denis language. It's a series of 8 lessons, or I'm sorry, a series of 6 lessons, at the end of which you should be able to read and translate whatever Denis writing you come across in any of the ages or any of the games. For the sign up for the lessons, you can contact me on Discord. I'm at Otertan 1317, and we can set up a time. Basically, there's from 8 to noon key time, or I'm sorry, 10 to 2, 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock key time are the starting times for the lessons. And then 20 key through 22 key are the starting times for the evening classes, Monday through Friday. And but that's all, folks.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Other than that, if you look at the stream window at today's event calendar, you can see that both of Arte's story nights are mentioned there. And then, of course, we have the karaoke show at the New Messengers Pub at 1600 key time. That is a very long-running event in which people pre-record themselves singing various songs and send them into a website so that the event organizer can collect them and replay them during the event. So this is people, ordinary people, just singing whatever song they want to sing, and then the people gather in the New Messengers pub to listen at the address that you see there. It's just a URL. I should say it's not a URL. It's just the web address, and then you can talk about these songs or whatever else you want to. It's also a good place that if you want some help with a door run or something like that, you can go there and ask them, and you may get some volunteers to help you after the event is over. And that's every Saturday.
Yeah. And I would just like to remind everyone to be sure to do a small donation to the catacomb, or a donation. Cavern. Cavern. So that we can keep providing you events like these tours, and so we can keep providing other events that people enjoy within the cavern. It helps keep the lights on. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do this.
That's it for me. I'd have nothing else to say at this point.
As a little aside, Uru Karaoke is the longest running event in Uru. It has been even around longer than my story nights. So, it's been around a long, long time.
Yep.
Definitely worth checking out.
Thanks for coming, everybody. We appreciate the tourists. Obviously, we couldn't do this without you, so we appreciate your support and your interest in these tours. It's great fun for all 4 of us, 5 of us.
Yes.
Take care, and we'll see you June 24th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take care, everyone. Have a blessed day, my friends.
Bye-bye.
And we are now going to end the stream. So good night, everyone.